When SIG launched their aluminum frame with the AXG Scorpion, I was in love. The frame was super ergonomic, the gun was really easy to shoot well. I enjoyed everything about it, but now SIG has launched a full-size gun featuring the AXG carry type frame. It's basically the same frame as the Scorpion, so the question on everyone's mind is this an improvement over the Scorpion, or is it just another day that ends in Y and SIG is making a cash grab on another slight variation to a model that they already make? Do I like the darn thing, and does it do anything my AXG Scorpion doesn't? Am I just going to keep making failed joke after failed joke at my and possibly your expense? All that and more, maybe. Are you ready? Stand by. Welcome back to the Humble Marksman channel. I'm David and this is the SIG AXG Pro. And before we get on with the review, I do need to talk to my YouTube manual reviewer. This video is for informational and entertainment purposes only. It's not promoting the sale of prohibited items, and the gun that you see in my hand is exactly as it comes from the factory, as evidenced by this picture from the manufacturer's website. This is the absolute zenith of advertiser-friendly content. And the reason I say that is I purchased this gun with my own money and I really need the video to be monetized pretty please. So the biggest question I had when I picked up the SIG AXG Pro is, what is this gun's intended use? This is a $1,200 pistol in the third quarter of 2021. It's not pretty enough to be like a safe queen that you show off to your friends. It's not inexpensive enough to be like a serious carry gun. It certainly checks all the boxes to be something that could be used for home defense, and it's not being positioned as a competition gun as evidenced by the night sights that come on the gun. So I'm not really sure where this is supposed to be, other than something that guys who like to collect SIG Sauer pistols and have a safe full of 226s would potentially buy. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you've probably seen my video review on the SIG P320 AXG Scorpion. I absolutely love that gun. It is a full-size grip with a 4-inch slide, and I actually started carrying the darn thing with a Romeo 1 Pro because I shoot it so well. It's just absolutely fantastic to shoot. And while the Scorpion is a limited edition gun that came with 3 magazines in a super fancy briefcase and a challenge coin, because that's what the gun buyers want, the Pro is actually $1,200, comes with 2 magazines, no challenge coins, in a crappy case that is suitable for something like a Glock. And because it does have a magwell, it actually has aluminum base pads on the bottoms of the magazines that it does have. But where you do start to get, I guess, more value is what the slide that comes on the gun. This is the Pro Series slide that comes on the gun. It is optic ready for both the Trijicon RMR or the Delta Point Pro footprints, and the front of the slide has absolutely been hollowed out to make the gun basically behave like a 4-inch gun in recoil. And that's why I think this gun is actually a good value. This light and slide that comes on the gun, which I thought was a bunch of Instagram nonsense, actually performs significantly better than just like an off-the-shelf 4.5-inch P320 slide. By reducing the amount of reciprocating mass at the muzzle, the amount of muzzle dip upon the slide closing is roughly similar to like a 4-inch gun. So what that means is the sights recover faster, so if you are shooting fast, you can deliver faster shots on target because the gun doesn't wobble as much when it goes back into battery. And I like the slide design so much, I'm not even that upset that it didn't come with a challenge coin. So you may be thinking, well, maybe they updated the trigger. Maybe the trigger's better than it is on the other SIG guns. No, it's exactly the same. But that is an academic criticism of the trigger, because the ergonomics of the frame with how the trigger is shaped make it insanely easy to shoot accurately. The way I address the trigger is with my fingertip, and it's super easy to pull straight to the rear. Even with iron sights in testing this gun, there was no problem making hits out to 50 yards. The gun is insanely easy to shoot well. The frame is just generally set up so well that everything is easy to do on the pistol. The trigger, while academically not as good as your buddy Shadow 2, there's nothing wrong with it. There's absolutely no need to mess with it. It's perfectly acceptable. The only thing that actually is a gripe about it, I can live with the creepiness, is the reset is super weak and it's a little bit long given the price point and the segment that this is in. Well, maybe they updated the coating on the frame. Maybe that's where some of the cost difference is. No, it's actually a hard coat anodized coating is what they're calling it. I don't know anything about hard coat anodizing. I do know that the Scorpion Scorpion frame is Cerakoted, and Cerakote famously doesn't hold up great to repeated holster use, and my Scorpion as a result has a lot of holster wear. But I did put this gun into and out of a CompTac International holster for the X5 over 100 times, and the frame is not a lot worse for the wear. There are some shiny spots that are developing on the trigger guard, and there's a couple high spots on each side that have gotten a little bit shiny with repeated holstering, but it's really holding up quite well given the use. The sights, as mentioned, are the SIG X-ray night sights, which aren't my favorite. The rear sight has a U-notch, which isn't my favorite, and to make the sight picture kind of more weird, they decided to make the tops of the sights follow the radius of the SIG Sauer slide profile, so there's kind of like a nice arch across the top of the sights, which is just bizarre. I don't know why they did that. So the sights are usable, but they're not super precise like you'd expect from like well-machined target sights. But it has 3-lamp, 3-dot sights, so if you're from the 80s and you really like 3-dot sight pictures, then they've got you covered. So at this point, you're probably thinking, I can kind of see where this is going. He's been riding this gun pretty hard. And I actually do think this gun is worth $1,200, and I'll kind of boil it down for you as to why. Number one, if you want a striker gun with a metal frame, there's really not many choices to go to. There's the Walther steel frame series, which are like $1,300 to $1,400, and then there's the Rock Island STK 100, which is like $600, and they kind of missed the mark on that one. I've done a video review on it you can check out. Number two is they have kind of dialed in the P320 formula, in my mind at least. The shorter dust cover and the not super heavy frame, while hollowing out the front of the slide, makes a middleweight gun that shoots very pleasantly. It shoots like a 5-inch gun all day long, but it recovers quicker than the muzzle-heavy Legion. I prefer the recoil characteristics of the way that this slide is set up to like the 5-inch Legion with the full-length dust cover. I've done another video on whether you should buy a 4-inch or 5-inch gun, and I kind of question if this 4.5-inch gun with a short dust cover isn't sort of the secret sauce and magic formula, because it moves the balance of the gun over the trigger guard. Like you can see right there, it's not falling out of my hand as I barely hold on to the gun with one finger. The gun is super well balanced when empty, and once you put a loaded magazine in, it moves the center of balance back into your palm. So you get a gun that's very, very easy to drive from target to target. The way the sights recover from recoil makes it super easy to shoot fast. I really think that this formula is a winner. I really like this Pro Cut slide, and I'd love to see it on more models. The magwell that comes on the gun is absolutely gigantic because the SIG magazines are so small. I mean, hot dog down a hallway all day. This would make an excellent competition gun, especially in like IDPA. Fits inside the box. It does everything well. I'll probably end up dropping an optic on this and leaving it set up as kind of like a mess around with gun when I go to IDPA. I really get along with this frame very, very well. The trigger, like I said, like academically, it's not great, but in actuality, when you go to shoot it, it performs much better than you would expect. Because the gun is a middleweight, it's even suitable for like concealed carry use. It's not a whole lot bigger than the Scorpion, its little brother, because it's got the same frame on it. About the only criticism I have from the gun, other than it costs a lot of money, is that the black frame, anodized, when left on like a bench at the range while you're loading magazines in the middle of the summer sun, heats up a lot. So if you were to shoot this at an outdoor match, I would encourage you to get a gun cover simply to keep the sun off your gun so it's not too hot to handle when you step up to the line. The grips, just like the Scorpion, aren't the greatest. I mean, they're usable, and if you're accustomed to plastic profile guns, it feels like a plastic profile gun but with better traction. But the grips can be improved by miles by other G10 makers. SIG even sells different G10s for the gun on their own website. But that gives you some flexibility that's not available on a typical duty style striker gun. The magazines are stupid expensive, which we all know SIG Sauer is very proud of their magazines. However, they make truly excellent magazines. They are very, very well made. So that is the SIG P320 AXG Pro. I've done this video on the AXG Scorpion you can check out as well. I appreciate you guys. Catch you on the next one.